These might be the best balance changes of all time. Lots of hero equipment and some troops and spells are getting some buffs or nerfs, and today we're going to talk about them. Before we get into the exact changes, just wanted to say this. So these balance changes are expected to come out in early September, but Supercell has allowed us to reveal these changes quite early in advance because they don't want people spending their precious ores on something that immediately gets nerfed. So they're giving you guys time to adjust your ore spending or saving. And is that not the biggest W? Let's start with the adjustments to the Barbarian King hero equipment. And here you can see 4 equipments are getting changes. Nerf to the Spiky Ball and the Gauntlet, and then a buff to the Earthquake Boots and the Barbarian Puppet. I think this makes sense. The 2 most common ones are getting nerfed, and the 2 least common ones are getting buffed. But let's go and have a look at some of the specific statistic changes. One last note before I show you the changes. The stats you're going to see in the graphics are as they are currently in the game right now, and I'm going to tell you about the changes coming to the game. I'm not going to be able to tell you about the changes to every single level. I'll try my best to inform you, but if you want to see all the specific changes on each level, head down into the description down below, and we will have the blog we're doing, and that will have every single change to all of the levels. The Giant Gauntlet is getting 3 nerfs, but they only apply from level 19 to level 27, so the first 18 levels remain unchanged. Those 3 nerfs are to the self-healing, but the self-healing's only a couple, so at max it's from 44 to 40, not a big change. The incoming damage reduction is a big change, so it goes from 60% to 55%. In fact, all levels from level 19 to 27 have about a 5% damage reduction nerf, and then the DPS is 20 DPS less at max, and about 5 to 10 less at level 19. The Spiky Ball is getting a nerf at every single level in the game. Every level will lose at least 1 bounce, so 1 less target for the Spiky Ball. So I expect it to still be used a lot at Town Hall 16 because of the damage it does, but at the lower Town Halls where it's extremely popular, it might not be your go-to equipment. The Earthquake Boots is receiving 3 buffs. Firstly, the radius is gone from 6 tiles to 8 tiles. That is insane. So much more damage and so many more walls will be open. Second of all, from level 9 onwards, you are going to get extra damage percent. So it will be an extra 5 at level 9. And then at level 18, it is 60% damage percentage, which is insane. And then the hit points is getting increases from level 13 to level 18. At level 18 now, you will get an extra 2,500 hit points. That's crazy. The Barbarian Puppet is also getting 3 buffs. So first of all, the rage duration's gone from 10 seconds to 20 seconds. Second of all, the hit point increase will get buffs from level 13 to level 18. So now at level 18, it's just over 3,000 hit points. And then the summon units, the way it's done is changing. So all I can say now is apparently it's going to be 5 per 0.5 seconds. But if the ability lasts 20 seconds, that would be 200 Raged Barbarians. So I don't know how accurate that is, but regardless, definitely a buff to the puppet. Next up, we have the changes to the Archer Queen. So you can see a few less changes here. The Frozen Arrow and the Archer Puppet are getting some adjustments, and the Archer Puppet one is really interesting. The Frozen Arrow is getting nerfs at every single level for the slowdown percent. So say at level 1, it's gone from 30% to 25%, and essentially every level at the game will either be 5 or 10% less. So with your level 27 Frozen Arrow now, the slowdown percent is only going to be 65%. Is this a necessary change? I don't know. I probably would have gone for the DPS increase instead of the slowdown effect. I still see this being used a lot in queen charges and with ground spam attacks, but I guess only time will tell. The Archer Puppet rework is amazing. So now what's going to happen, at all levels you're going to spawn 5 archers every second, and at each level those archers are going to be invisible for an increasingly long amount of time. So at level 1 the archer's going to be invisible for 3.5 seconds, and at level 18 they're going to be invisible for 6.5 seconds. So I assume you're spawning archers during that 6.5 seconds, which means you're spawning probably 30 to 40 at max level, but invisible for 6.5 seconds. Yes, they'll probably be able to activate traps, but still, this is a massive improvement on what it was before. look at how many of the Grand Warden hero equipments are getting adjustments, and so many of these are really needed because they're all a little bit overpowered. In fact, I argue the Fireball probably should have gotten a nerf as well, but let's jump into each of these changes. The Eternal Tome is getting a massive nerf, particularly at the higher Town Hall levels. So a level 18 Eternal Tome is now only going to last 8 seconds, and this is such a good change. I think we'll see the effects of this definitely throughout next season. Now, essentially, the Eternal Tome beyond Town Hall 13 levels will be losing at least a second, and then at Town Hall 11 or 12, you'll be losing 0.25 to half a second. And I think this is good, so you're going to see the effects felt much more at the higher Town Halls, because a 9.5 second ability just makes it pointless to upgrade so many of the defenses on your base if they're not doing any damage. This might be the most asked for change, and you got it. The Healing Tome at level 18, the duration is going to go from 25 seconds down to 20. This is a massive step in the right direction, but it's not just level 18. Every level of the Healing Tome will be getting a nerf. Now, it's not going to be 5 seconds at every level. It's going to be 1 second at level 1, and essentially the increase will eventually get up to 5 second gap that you see at level 18. So nerfs across the board for what is one of the most broken hero equipment in the game. The Rage Gem is getting nerfed, but only from level 1 to level 14 because it has such a high usage rate at the lower Town Halls. So if you have level 15 to 18, don't worry, it is staying the same. But what is changing is the damage increase. So essentially every level from level 1 to 14 will have 5% less damage increase. So you see the level 14 Rage Gem here is not going to be 40% damage increase. It is going to be 35. Do I think this is going to make a big difference? Not really. I expect the Rage Gem to still be used a lot at the lower Town Halls because you don't have the Healing Tome yet. The Life Gem is getting a very big buff with the max hit point increase. So at level 18, it's gone from 725 to 870. And whilst this may not sound like a lot, generally you use the Life Gem with Hybrid or Queen Charge Lalo, where there's a lot of different units. And if every single unit in your army has an extra 150 hit points, that's insane. There will be 2,000 or 3,000 hit points in totality of your army. So maybe we'll see Hybrid come back. But it's not just level 18. Every level of the Life Gem is getting extra max HP increase, and I'm all for it, honestly. The last hero is the Royal Champion, and we're going to see nerfs to, unsurprisingly, the Haze Vial and the Hog Puppet. It's just the default equipment on the Royal Champion, and it's far too strong. And we're going to see not just a little buff, but a big buff to the Rocket Spear. Maybe all the ores that you guys put into that equipment is finally going to be worth it. The changes to the Haze Vial are really easy to calculate. It's going to be minus 2 seconds at every single level throughout the game. So level 1 to 18 of the Haze Vial is all getting nerfed. So at level 18 now, you are only going to get 10 seconds. Now, I still expect the Haze Vial to be used because of the attack speed increase, not just from the ability, but from the normal passive stats of it. But still, 2 less seconds is going to make a big difference. The nerf to the Hog Rider puppet is going to be potentially substantial, but I don't really know yet because the nerf is to the Hog Rider level. So at level 18 now, you're only going to have level 11 hogs, so they are going to get chewed up more quickly. There are some levels where you're going to get 3 levels lower on the hogs. That's level 14, 13, and 12. So you'll definitely feel the effects of this equipment, but you're still going to get that invis, still going to get all the hogs to tank, so I guess we'll see how strong this is in time. The changes to the Rocket Spear are also rather simple. Every level of the Rocket Spear in the game is going to get 2 extra spears. And this is quite big because at level 27, you're going to go from 8 spears to 10, and you can clear out so much of the base with 10 spears. And because the Haze Vial and the Hog Puppet have both been nerfed, I expect the Rocket Spear to become meta. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what attack strategy because you get the huge DPS increase as well. But yeah, every single level in the game, 2 extra spears, start upgrading. And here are the final nerfs you're going to see with these balance changes, and I know a lot of you are going to like it because the Overgrowth spell is getting a nerf. So essentially, the Overgrowth spell at max now is only going to be 25 seconds instead of 28 seconds. All the other levels are down by 2 seconds duration as well. And then the range of it is also getting a nerf. It will be 1 less tile in terms of the radius. So 2 less tiles in diameter. So that is really big. Way less defense is covered and for a little less time. The Druid is getting a big nerf here, the bounce count. So in the past, the bounce count was 4, so you could heal 5 targets at once. Now you can only heal 4 targets at once, so it's 20% nerf there in terms of the number of troops that are going to be healed. And I think this is going to hurt the Root Rider spam armies where there's more troops. Super Witches will be okay because there's not as many troops, so you know, you don't need to bounce as many units, but the spam armies will definitely get a nerf with that. The Valk is getting nerfs at Town Hall 15 and 16, 200 hit points each, and then the Super Barb is getting a little DPS nerf just at Town Hall 16, 10 DPS per second. The last set of balance changes refers to Siege Machine donations, and I really like these changes. I'll be interested to see what you all think. So there's a couple of new updates to the rules coming in. So each Town Hall level can receive Siege Machines that are unlocked by 2 Town Halls higher. This now means a Town Hall 10 cannot be donated a Flame Flinger, Log Launcher, or Siege Barracks. They could currently, now they can't because those Siege Machines are unlocked more than 2 Town Halls in the future. Not even a Town Hall 11 can get a Flame Flinger now because that's unlocked at Town Hall 14. And the levels of the Siege Machine you can get donated is dependent on the Town Hall level difference as well. So each Town Hall receiving higher Town Hall Siege Machines will start from level cap to 2, and it will increase by 1 per Town Hall. So a Town Hall 10 can receive a level 2 Wall Wrecker, and then at level 11 it'll be a level 3 Wall Wrecker, level 12, Town Hall 12 will be a level 4 Wall Wrecker. Kind of makes sense. So the first Town Hall where you can unlock that Siege Machine via donation, it's level 2 and +1 for each level beyond that. If that's all too confusing for you, I totally understand it. We're going to have a nice table on our blog that you can have a look at and understand which level Siege Machine you can now be donated. In conclusion, what do I see the balance changes doing today? Well, firstly, I think I'm going to put some ores into the Earthquake Boots. 8 tile radius is insane, plus the extra damage in the area and the extra hit points. I expect it to be used a lot. Think of all the walls, particularly on those compact bases that you can open and all the damage you can do in the area. You wouldn't need Root Riders now. Root Riders didn't get a nerf today, but they definitely get an indirect nerf. Overgrowth got nerfed, Valks got nerfed, Druids got nerfed, Super Barbs got nerfed, and then the army kind of relies on the Eternal Tome and the Healing Tome, and they both got big nerfs. So is Root Rider spam going to be as strong next season? I think it's going to be strong, but not as strong. So definitely potentially look at upgrading the Earthquake Boots. I don't know if I'll upgrade the Barb Puppet or the Archer Puppet yet. I guess we'll see on that. But I think the biggest one for me is I got to start putting some ores into this Rocket Spear. I think it's going to be really strong. Look at it. It's terrible at level 11. Time for me to start upgrading it, and maybe it will be the default Royal Champion equipment, and you'll use it with either the Royal Gem or the Seeking Shield. Let me know your thoughts on the changes today down in the description below. I tried to keep this video short. I have no idea how long it is. But yeah, that's it for us. We'll keep you guys posted on what you should be putting your ores into come early September when these changes are live in-game. But lastly, if you want to see Klaus doing attacks with Root Rider spam and Dragon spam and see which one you think is stronger, I've got the perfect video for you. I'll link that on the left.